Well, his team 1-0 coming in with a 45-35 victory over Central Arkansas. So they already have that win under their belts. And this one will sail on into the end zone, so UAB will take it out to the 25. As we will start tonight here from Miami. They piled up 459 yards of total offense with a very balanced attack in their opener. It's going to be interesting to watch what they do at quarterback tonight. Tyler Johnston is the 6'2" junior out of Spanish Fort, Alabama. Now he's the unquestioned starter. In their opener, he was 17 for 25, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he's not going to play every down tonight. He's going to roll and deliver the first pass of the season, and that one completed to Mitchell, and Mitchell finally shoved out of bounds. Mitchell coming off a very good opener, 4 catches and a touchdown in the victory.
And a really good opener for UAB. Simple bootleg, get an easy throw for your quarterback Johnson right in the flat, and all of a sudden you get a big play, Dave, on a throw that's just at the line of scrimmage.
So they pick up the first down immediately. Miami coming off a 6-7 season, a major reset for the Hurricanes, and on the carry, busting loose on the run, and a big gainer. Finally taken down by Gervin Hall, but a flag on the play. Well, there's Spencer Brown for you, and that's something he can do. He can break your back defensively. Again, a flag on the play, but their top rusher.
Offense. Receiver was on the line of scrimmage and went in motion. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So that one coming back.
Coming back, it looked like they were trying to get into an unbalanced formation. That's why you heard the official say receiver started on the line of scrimmage and then went in motion. I think Miami was having a hard time getting lined up. It's one of the reasons they got gashed on that run there. Clearly a penalty.
So first down and 15 for Tyler Johnston. As we get started tonight in Miami, Florida. Out of the shotgun, back to throw. And he dumps that one over the top to Brown, trying to take to the sideline before he's angled out. So targeting Spencer Brown right away. No question he's the best back in UAB history. He's at the top of the charts, Tim, in just about everything.
Yeah, he's a really good runner. Tough, runs, behind his pads, good pad level. He also dropped a few pounds, which I think has made him, look pretty effective going last week against Central Arkansas, and obviously he started this game.
Second down and 5 for Johnston. Shotgun again, and once again it's Brown trying to get to the 50, but he's denied. Miami, the 5-time national champions.
And you look at what UAB is trying to do. It's the second time they've gotten into an unbalanced look. Bradley Jennings does a good job of playing downhill, finding his way to the football.
So third down and 5 coming up here for UAB. Miami, by the way, has not lost a home opener since 2006. They've won 13 in a row. 12 of those have come right here at Hard Rock Stadium. Johnson wants to throw again over the middle, and that one complete to Mitchell. Myron Mitchell with the reception and eventually taken down.
It's a nice route design. Basically just running a little traffic for Mitchell as he comes underneath it, and then you see the timing that Tyler Johnson played with. Ball out quickly, beats the pressure. His left tackle was getting beat, but an accurate ball on time with a good route design. Nice third down conversion.
So first and 10, UAB on the march here. And a flag. 12:23 to go here in the first quarter.
55, offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, still first down.
Hey, there's no preseason, very few scrimmages. Look at this. Oh, no, not time to snap it now. Not time to snap it now.
Probably not the last time we'll see a false start tonight.
We feel you, Andrew Smith. Okay, we feel you. We know you played a game, but we feel you.
Senior out of Mount Olive, Mississippi. So first and 10. Mitchell in motion to try and dart inside. Got across the 50-yard line. And a flag on the play. Well, Miami picked to finish 6th in the ACC this year. Of course, Clemson, a runaway top choice, is #1.
Offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. Penalty is declined. 2nd down.
So bring up 2nd down as they decline, and a flurry of flags here early on. I don't think a shot for anybody.
No, and it's interesting.
So 2nd down and 16.
Jumping in and out of being in unbalance, which means, different guys are on the line of scrimmage. Typically it's your X and your Y, your tight end and your split end receiver on the line of scrimmage. You start to adjust that, then all of a sudden confusion ensues. We've seen that twice from UAB.
Johnson, a little pressure on him. He'll dump it off, and incomplete. Well short. Good quarterback pressure out of Sidney Wells. So Tyler Johnson on this drive, 3 out of 4, 38 yards. And 3rd and 16. Johnson looking to convert again. He's already converted 1 3rd down. And on the handoff off to the left side goes Spencer Brown once again. Senior out of Kimberly, Alabama.
And UAB just tries to surprise him a little bit. Sometimes you get into a sub defense, maybe expecting some pressure. You think you could maybe split a blitz or something like that that's coming up. That's not what they get. And a pretty good job by this Miami defense after giving up a few big plays to start the drive.
So 4th down and 10. UAB forced into the punt. First punt here of the first quarter. That'll take a hop and contact there inside the 10-yard line. So Miami to take over for the first time. King will be running the offense. Big moment coming up for the Miami Hurricanes. Scoreless in the first quarter. So the 13,000 get to see De'Ara King up close and personal for the first time. All eyes on him all around the ACC and the nation. In fact, the grad transfer from Houston back to throw. He's going to throw it long on his first possession and incomplete to the left side. There's a flag down. So right away, no hesitation there, Tim. He's going deep.
Yeah, looked like they wanted to test the corner with a go route. Decided to do that right away.
#1, defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Bronte Harris, the corner there, #1, coming off a foot injury a year ago. You just see him. He's just grabbing D. Wiggins on the go route. And, De'Ara King's a tremendous runner, Dave, but, everyone's been pretty adamant about him being a passer and a quarterback first and not being afraid to take the ball down the field.
Well, he's throwing 50 touchdown passes, going to run right here and across the 20-yard line after the penalty. He's talked about that. He said, a lot of times people look at a quarterback like myself as just a runner. I love playing teams that want me to throw the ball because I know I can do that. You're seeing how quickly they're going to move, though. The tempo, this could really, really get interesting tonight.
Yeah, and Bill Clark, he said his biggest concerns were King, the quarterback, and the tempo.
That'll pick up 6 yards. No hesitation. And another carry through the left side. And from Miami, it's going to be get up and go under Rhett Lashley, the new offensive coordinator, his first year in Miami. Brand new to the job. Also loves the trick plays, so keep an eye on that tonight from the shotgun. King will look to gun, and that one's complete to Wiggins.
One of the things you're getting
D.
a sense
Wiggins
of,
with the catch on a first reception. That's a 9-yard gain.
And Dave, you just get a sense they're moving fast, but look how fast the ball comes out of De'Ara King's hands. He's not holding on to the football. Big change from a year ago for this Hurricane offense.
1st and 10 for the Hurricanes. And a handoff here for Harris. And back to that point that King made about, passing and running. He said, my dad used to tell me You have to prove you can play the position. Being a black quarterback, there's a lot of stigma out there that guys like me can't throw the ball. I just play football.
Well, his head coach said he's the modern quarterback. He's the quarterback of today. He's not anything but a quarterback, and looks like it so far.
Fake the handoff, and that one darted right over the middle, and another completion. That one caught by Mike Harley. He's probably the fastest guy on this team. So 1st and 10. The Canes go again. They've got to be in great physical condition to play this, and nothing doing there as Harris is met very quickly for a loss to bring up 2nd down. A big fan of Rhett Lashley is actually the man who's trying to beat him tonight. UAB head coach Bill Clark, who squared off against him in 2012 when they were in the Sun Belt together. Clark was defensive coordinator at South Alabama. He's been telling his team all week, be ready for the trick stuff. Roll out, there's Harris, but Harris is tackled right at the 50-yard line.
And that's
taken
a really
down by Grayson Cash.
Yeah, and it's a nice play by Grayson Cash, because there's an offensive lineman releasing to get a block on him, and he's able to beat that block and make the tackle on Cameron Harris. If not, it's going to end up being a pretty big play.
3rd and 14 for the Canes. And King working out of the shotgun. Jeremiah Payton is wide right, as one of the talented freshman wide receivers for the Hurricanes. King to throw. He's going to uncork this one, and that one will be incomplete. So that'll bring up a 4th down for Miami.
Yeah, and a miscommunication. You see Miami going with that fast tempo, but then you get into critical down and distance, like a 3rd and long. They slow it down. They try to look at the defense. They had a one-on-one to Derek King's right. He thinks he's running a go route. The receiver reads it differently. That's why you see the misfire.
So Headley will be back to punt. And one of the biggest punters you're going to find anywhere in America, former Australian rules football player, and a fair catch right around the 10-yard line. So that's where the drive will begin. No score here in the 1st quarter.
It really is incredible to see the job that he has done with this football program.
This is the first meeting between these two schools. And on the carry, heading for the left side, Spencer Brown out of bounds to bring up 2nd down for the Blazers. UAB looking for their first win over an ACC opponent in school history. Bill Clark said this week, when you hear Miami, that gets your attention. It got our attention. It got our guys excited. He does not think, however, that they're going to be blown away or starstruck. I mean, it played Texas A&M, it played Tennessee. As mentioned, it's been a very successful program. So they do not come in starstruck at all. 2nd down and 5, and a big hole opens up on the carry.
And they shouldn't be starstruck with the way that they're getting movement up front. I mean, they're moving guys around. Spencer Brown, who is a powerful, back, is running and falling forward. I mean, they need to be encouraged by the way this has started for them in their ability to get movement and run the football.
1st down for the Blazers. 1st and 10, and they have had success early on moving the ball on the Canes. And whistles. 5:46 to go in the 1st quarter.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
And for more on Spencer Brown, let's go to Katie George.
Well, after last season, Bill Clark sat down with Spencer Brown and had a frank conversation. He was just too big. He weighed 238 last year, and it showed on the field and in the box score. So collectively, they decided he needed to lose a significant amount of weight. But it was ultimately up to Brown to make a lifestyle change. He became friends with the nutritionist, He did extra workouts all on his own through the quarantine, and he lost 28 pounds ahead of the season. Now at 210, he feels like a new man.
And they say he's in the best shape of his career. As to Jade Silvera with the tackle to stop him there, but 32 career touchdown rushes for Spencer Brown.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, it's good that he takes, you know, the coaching. That's not just on the field coaching. It's coaching about, hey, how do you prepare yourself to get ready for a season? And you look at a guy like Le'Veon Bell, a guy who changed his body and changed the way he played, and it's made him a better football player. And I think Spencer Brown has probably seen some other backs do similar things, and smart of him to take that coaching.
Johnson wants to throw. Good time in the pocket. Throwing short and complete to Mitchell. Got away from one tackler and got ahead for 4 yards on that play. Frierson with the stop. So 3rd down and 10 for Johnston and the Blazers. Converted on 1 3rd down on their first drive. Now the shotgun again. Throwing right over the middle and complete. Caught by Watkins. Watkins spinning away, picks up 3.
You know, Miami here decides to rush 3, drop 8. And so Tyler Johnson just throwing an underneath route, and it's a design almost down the field screen. UAB's got very good receivers in terms of run after the catch, but you just see the rally to the football by that Hurricane defense. It's one of the things Manny Diaz wanted to see out of his team the first week of live tackling for them.
So on 4th and 7, the Blazers forced to punt. And trying to get away. The football is loose, and the Blazers are going to recover. Street jumped on it after the Greenwell punt. And deep in Miami territory, UAB has the football on a big turnover.
But one of the things you're concerned about, you know, the first live game is not only how you tackle, but your ball security, especially on special teams. UAB was burned by a muff punt a week ago. This time it's Miami. UAB's on the other end of it. Good hustle and recovery of the football. And it'll be interesting to see how this Miami defense can respond now defending a short field.
Pope with the mishandle. So it'll be 1st and 10 for UAB. You know, Coach Clark was talking this week about what you have to avoid when you play Miami, particularly at their place. Explosive plays was number 1, and turnovers. Well, he's forced one right away. And inside the 20-yard line of the Hurricanes. And trying that left side for a short gain. DJ Ivey with the tackle. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard pickup. So Jermaine Brown got 1. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Johnston rolling out, looking downfield, throwing long for the end zone, and touchdown UAB. The catch made by Austin Watkins in the end zone. Tyler Johnson connects on a 16-yard touchdown play.
This is a really good job. I think this was set up the play before. Run to the left to get the ball in the left hash, and then a roll out to the right to work the throwback. Pretend like you're rolling to the wide side of the field, and then a throwback, and then DJ Ivey just does a poor job of finding the football. He's in position to make a play. He just doesn't locate the ball.
Extra point is good. Not starstruck indeed. UAB strikes. They lead at 7. UAB gets into the end zone first here tonight in Miami. And Miami again, a disappointing year last year at 6-7. They were really up and down and hoping to get off to a quick start here tonight, but the Blazers have other thoughts. So on the kickoff, here's Pope, and Pope taken down at about the 25-yard line. We talk about what and staying on his feet, Harris, but eventually taken down. That's a very, very good defensive unit for UAB, and very tough to run on a lot of the time. So King from the shotgun, the star out of Houston, back to throw. Now he'll roll with it. He could be so dangerous, getting across the 30 before he takes a pop.
And I think it's plays like that, Dave, that make him the most dangerous. It's a design pass. You have guys running vertical, defenders with their back turned, and now all of a sudden you have somebody that could be an elusive punt returner in the open field as a quarterback running with the football.
9-yard gain on the previous play. UAB on top 7-0. Harris getting a lot of work early in the Miami running attack. So 4th down and 1. Tight end Will Mallory in. Two very, very talented tight ends for the Hurricanes in Jordan and Mallory. That's really a two-headed monster for the Hurricanes. 4th and 1 on a handoff, and Harris breaks it free across the 50, at the 40, the 30. He's going to go all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. 66 yards. Cameron Harris. And the Canes didn't wait long, Tim.
They did not. Taking a risk, too, on 4th and 1 in your own end. Basically a read by the quarterback. They get a good push. And you see D'Eriq King is just able to hold the defender up the field. That allows Cameron Harris just to get vertical and then just too much speed. A lot of times if you can split it on a short yardage like a 4th and 1 as the defense is selling out, there's no one left behind.
So an explosive play to get 6 on the board. And a point after is good by Borregales. So this one quickly tied 7-7 with just over a minute to go here in the first quarter. We have a full slate of college football games for you on the ACC network on Saturday. At noon, it's Syracuse against number 18 North Carolina. They are going to be so much fun to watch this season. Austin Peay against Pitt at 4, and then Western Kentucky and Louisville at 8 o'clock. Outstanding lineup starting at noontime. North Carolina expected to be outstanding offensively all season long.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Sam Howell in his second year as a starter. And then you mentioned Louisville. I mean, Mikhail Cunningham, you know, he was fun to watch a year ago, Dave. We had a few of their games, and that's a good team offensively. They can start playing better defensively. You know, Louisville, another one of these ACC teams that certainly makes some noise.
So Miami quickly tying the ball game here late in the first quarter, and will kick off. So the scoring coming fast and furious after the turnover by the Hurricanes on the special teams play, and UAB got 7 up there in a heartbeat. UAB will play 2 quarterbacks, Johnston and Lucero, tonight. Johnston looking sharp in the early going, and so this will come out to the 25-yard line. Manny Diaz, head coach from Miami. It's a hometown kid, makes good story. He's the son of a former Miami mayor. And when Mark Richt retired, Diaz was elevated from defensive coordinator. And he said at the press conference, "Miami is home. The U has been the job for me since I first got into coaching. We will restore the program to its place among the nation's elite."
And I think his history with the program made some of the greats that had played at Miami excited to have Manny back, and seemed to be a good fit so far.
Johnston, short pass into the flat and complete, and a good hands play. That was Stanley, actually Brown with the catch. And so final seconds of the first quarter, tied up 7-7. So yeah, head coaching job that is highly personal for Diaz. He graduated from FSU, began his coaching career there, and in 1999 he was on a coaching staff with Mark Richt that was national champs in 1999. Second down and 6 for UAB. Johnson with the handoff. Brown going right into the center of the line. Not a whole lot there. 10 seconds to go before the second quarter here in Miami. Now, you mentioned that Louisville team, where last year they were such a fascinating team and they took on all comers. Well, Miami will be traveling to Louisville next Saturday. Entertaining down the stretch of the first quarter. This one is all tied up 7-7. Some of them are dressing to the nines at the same time. We are tied 7-7. Got very entertaining in the final minutes of that first quarter. UAB on the attack again. Johnston airs it out, and a complete pass to Stanley. He is nudged out of bounds. Now, before the game, both sides got together and they have to agree on stuff like how much crowd noise, what level of crowd noise they want pumped in. That was the original plan. The word we got was they could not agree on some of those parameters, so they're not pumping in crowd noise, which has been done in other games, but it's not being done in this stadium tonight.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, look, if you're an offense and you're on the road, I think communication is paramount. And, you know, I would think that if you were ever a visiting team, that you wouldn't want the crowd noise.
Greenwell gets that punt away. Last time he punted, Miami mishandled it at the 21-yard line. A fair catch here. It was 46 yards. So the Canes to take over in a 7-7 tie. What about playing in front of few or no fans, Tim? How does that affect the quarterback and the running of an offense?
Well, it definitely affects your energy as a team. A lot of times you feed off of the energy, even in offense. Even if it's quiet when you're running a play, the energy in the building certainly can have an impact, you know, on how you operate, the pace you operate with. And you also have to think about if you're calling things out at the line of scrimmage, you know, the defense can hear your code words, you know, and so I think, you know, trying to disguise some of that, use more hand signals, may end up being a factor for offenses that want to go fast and not huddle up.
No, Wilder with the stop to bring up 3rd down and 6.
And 3rd down, Dave, you mentioned it earlier. It's a down and distance that, or a down that Miami's offense needs to be better at. Going 3 and out fast doesn't help.
King back to throw. Time in the pocket. Going long right down the side, but it's going to be incomplete. Intended for Harley, but too much.
And he clearly had Harley. Harley wins on the go route. It's 3rd and 6, and he was getting tight coverage. He's able to run past it, and now, you know, Miami's 0 for 3 on 3rd down. It was one of the things we talked about with Manny Diaz, with Rhett Lashley, is being better on 3rd down, especially when you want to go fast, because if you're not getting first downs, then you're really putting your defense in a tough spot.
So Headley gets the punt away, and that will take a bounce and be downed by the Hurricanes inside the 15-yard line. Tied up 7-7, second quarter in Miami.
Quarterback Tyler Johnston went from group to group, urging his teammates to keep that fire. He stopped next to 5th-year senior wide receiver Austin Watkins, urging him to do the same. Keep that fire. We stay patient, and our plays will come. We'll see if that pep talk helps, guys.
And don't be surprised if you hear those two connecting, Johnston and Watkins, several times. That is his favorite receiver, the senior out of Fort Myers, Florida. He's going to keep it, looking downfield, a long throw, and it's broken up by Miami. Intended for Watkins on that play.
Yeah, and Johnson had him. He's had a great start to this half, and he has him here. He just doesn't. He's not able to get enough on him. See a little bit of pressure, and that's one you step into, get the ball out there, and it's probably a touchdown for Tyler Johnson.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Blazers, and here come the officials with 13:11 to go here in the 2nd quarter.
Please reset the clock to 13 minutes 18 seconds. 13-18.
The UAB, as we mentioned, will play 2 quarterbacks, Johnston and also Bryson Lucero. Tyler Johnson, certainly the starter. He's the #1 guy. But he knows he's not going to be taking every snap, Tim. Is that a positive or a negative going into a game?
Yeah, I think it's a negative, to be honest with you. I think it's tough. As a quarterback, you want to play the entire game. You want to get into a rhythm. But I would say that it's probably wise to be flexible with your plan.
Alabama, Birmingham.
UAB taking a timeout.
And what I mean by that, Dave, is, if your quarterback is playing well, then it's a good idea to leave him in, not be tied to taking him out for the 3rd series or something like that. But so far, so good for this UAB offense. 7-7.
Brian alongside Tim Hasselbeck, in a manner of speaking. Tim is in his home studio. I am in mine in different parts of the country. But Katie George is live at the stadium. It's just great to have college football back. Big expectations in both of these places, UAB and Miami, and with good reason. Johnston on a 2nd and 10 from the shotgun. Wants to throw short to the flat and complete. That short game may be there tonight. Rob Johnson will haul that in. That's a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, good job by Tyler Johnson here. He's getting pressure off the right side. You see the blitz come. One of the best ways to beat the blitz is throw right into it. They do it there as Rob Johnson's kind of replacing where that defender came from. Good job of standing in there, too, by Tyler Johnson.
Rob Johnson, the senior out of Washington, D.C. See Johnston, 9 of 11, 75 yards. And pretty calm in that pocket. 3rd and 4 for the Blazers. Wants to pass again. And that one's going to be dropped. Comes loose, but that pass incomplete.
And Watkins is going to be able to get the 1st down. He's able to hold on to this football again, coming underneath. It's really a ball you see him catch quite a bit. He's getting, pretty sure-handed receiver. Usually strong through contact. It's a pretty good job of Al Blaze of raking through the football, though, to get it out.
Now Blaze, the son of the late Miami defensive back, for his 4th down and 4. And UAB with the punt. Greenwell with Pope back there. Greenwell's hit a couple of good ones in the 1st half. 12:20 to go. So De'Ara King back at it as the highly touted quarterback. His teammates have been raving about his leadership for the last couple of weeks. He's flushed out of the pocket throwing that one, and that is going to be incomplete. Or he got there to the sideline and actually hauled it in.
Does look like he's able to get his feet down. Initially, an amazing throw on the run to his left. I almost feel like Wiggins has that left toe hit the ground right there before that right foot is out of bounds. And if so, that's a heck of an effort by Wiggins and
on the field with a catch in bounds. Previous play is under further review.
So they'll take a look at it. Good pressure by Alex right there.
And you see, Wiggins, he does a good job extending his hands. So he catches the football, has the ball. Before that right foot is down, it looks like he's trying to drag that left toe. It's off the ground there, but I actually think it's down. It's getting some grass when he has possession of it right about there before it comes back up.
You think it did touch?
Dave, I'm at home, but I think it touched. You know, sometimes it's easier in the stadium, but I believe that it touched. I don't know what your monitor looks like, but mine looks like it was down.
I think 100% of the time it's easier when you're on site, but let's take another look.
See, right there, angle. I feel like that toe is down, and he does have possession of the football.
Yep, they may have gotten this one right. Ruled
after further
completed
review,
pass.
The ruling on the field stands. First down.
Well, it's good to know that my monitors, your monitors, and the officials' monitors are working
we're all synced up. Yeah, nice play by Wiggins. That's for sure. To scrape that toe for the first down. King with the handoff again. Going to try the center of that line. And a carry by Jalen Knighton, who they really like, this freshman out of Fort Lauderdale. They call him Rooster. And he can really move it. Here he is trying to bounce outside, and he gets through one tackle across the 40. Still on his feet by the time he's taken down almost to the 30-yard line. 18 yards.
Another zone read, and it's Knighton again, and it's a good decision by King, and then that just allows Knighton to be able to get in to the second level of the defense. Does an excellent job of breaking a tackle and then making somebody miss.
He's going to run it again, but this time they find him very quickly, and he is taken down, losing 1 yard on that play. Tackle made by Chris Maul.
And Chris Maul, the Miami native, he looked like he was shot out of a cannon there. I mean, we know Knighton's got speed. The way that Maul got there running downhill, impressive play.
Maul often does. Conference USA, all Conference USA performer, at 9 sacks last year on a stout UAB defense. Second down and 10. King wants to keep it. Straight ahead he goes. A flag is down on the play. 7-yard pickup, but a flag down. .10:26 to go here before halftime in Miami. Tied at 7.
Offside. Defense. Number 44. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So they will repeat second down.
It's an amazing run there by Derek King. I mean, two guys missed. I'm not sure it was down in two-hand touch, Dave.
On the handoff, it's Harris bouncing outside, taken to the sideline. He's already had a number of punishing runs here in the first half. That one goes for 16 yards.
Speaking of punishing, you know I'm going to do this every time I get a chance. Watch Derek King. Hands the football off. Now because this thing winds back. Look at him go get a lead block. Look at that on TD Marshall. Derek King, we've talked about his running, his passing. I have a little love for the blocking as well. That's what I mean about just being a football player.
Exactly right. 9:56 to go here before halftime. First down and 10 coming up. So this one's 7-7, just over 10 minutes to go before halftime. Here's King back to throw, and now it opens up for him. He will dive for the end zone. Well, there he takes off and lands in for 6. Derek King showing you what all the fuss was about. A 12-yard touchdown rush. He can break your back with that.
He sure can. You just see the explosiveness as a runner. It's a design pass. They actually bring pressure, UAB does. And then once he decides to take off, no hesitation whatsoever. And then just the willingness to absolutely sell out to get into the end zone. Ball crosses the goal line before that knee hits the ground. What a play by Derek King.
6 plays, 64 yards. Miami rushing the ball very effectively for 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, and King right at the top of it as he goes sailing into the end zone for Miami in a 14-7 lead.
And Rhett Lashley talked about, you're going to have design runs for your quarterback, and you're going to pick your spots with it. Sometimes you're going to, you want to run them outside the hash marks. But he said he's not worried about how many run plays he calls for his quarterback because he knows on design pass plays, D'Eriq King, just with his natural instincts, the clock in his head as a passer, he'll take off and get carries on his own like he did there.
Let's go to Katie George.
Well, D. Wiggins, wide receiver, was the last offensive player off the field after that D'Eriq King rushing TD. And he said, man, he makes it look too easy, as if he was jealous based on what the quarterback was just able to do on that last play, guys.
You know, UAB called a previous timeout, and they looked gassed, Tim, because it's the tempo that can really wear you down quickly. And then there's this guy.
Yeah, the tempo, and then out of that timeout, a blitz called by that UAB defense. They come after him, and what that does is it basically gives a lane for D'Eriq King to run with the football, and then one less defender down the field. And it's funny, you see the reaction, or you hear about the reaction from D. Wiggins, and I just think that there's a confidence, an element that D'Eriq King brings of his teammates believing in him, feeling like he's a difference maker, and he's already putting it on display.
He sure is. Well, the year did not begin well for D'Eriq King. He lost his father back in February. Terrible loss for him. He's had the heavy heart ever since, but coming to Miami, where expectations just went soaring with his presence after the brilliant career he had at Houston, responsible for 80 touchdowns over the course of that outstanding stay. You talk about a player available in the college football portal, Tim. You can't do better for a quarterback or player, period, than this guy.
No, and I think that's exactly how Manny Diaz felt, and basically said, you know, they knew about him as a player. I mean, that was no secret, and I think all of college football knew about him as a player. But he said in the 10-day recruiting period, they just kind of fell in love with his character, and they knew that he was going to be the perfect fit for what they needed, which was a veteran at the quarterback position, and probably no surprise that he was elected as a captain.
Spencer Brown with -2 on that carry. Brett Lashley, brand new to the program. I mean, they reworked everything. New offensive coordinator, new offensive coaches. Not to mention the naming of Hall of Famer Ed Reed as chief of staff. Now that's an overhaul of the first order. And Miami convinced this one's going against UAB. It's a false start.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Penalties have been hurting the Blazers here in the first half. And it was the right guard, Trahern.
And there's Ed Reed, and I think adding him to, you know, chief of staff of the program, I think, you know, having him around your program, obviously what he meant to the program as a player, but I think it's how people look at Ed Reed, and anyone that's ever been around him, his leadership and his understanding of locker rooms and what it takes to build a good football team.
Spectacular player, amazing career, winding up in Canton, Ohio. Swing pass outside, but out of bounds. Reception made, and UAB trying to get something going here inside the last 9 minutes. 3rd down and 7 coming up. Hayden Pittman, one of the good tight ends, 2 of them, along with Garrett Prince. 14-7 Miami. And Johnston trying to step up again, and he's dragged down. Nothing doing there. Miami waiting for him, and a tackle by Roche.
And Quincy Roche ends up getting the sack here. He's the transfer from Temple that they're excited about. It's really a bust by the left tackle. He sifts outside, which gives Roche a clean path to the quarterback, and they feel like he can be a double-digit sack guy here at Miami and getting on the board with a sack tonight.
And it'll be 3 consecutive 3 and outs for UAB. So Miami buckling down on defense. Greenwell with the punt, sending Polk back, trying to get ahead of the 30, and that's where he is stopped, and that's where the Hurricanes will take over. They've got momentum, and they've got the lead, 14-7.
ACC.
Roddy, those are fighting words in a place like Clemson, South Carolina. Short pass and incomplete. Good balance here for Miami. 16 rushes, 6 passes so far.
It's a good point about the balance, Dave.
14-7 lead.
Everyone talks about Rhett Lashley and obviously, the Gus Malzahn tree and, air raid influence with Sonny Dykes, but I do think he wants to be able to run the football well.
And running it on a dive there by Knighton for a 3-yard pickup. So Miami trying to get into the end zone again. Stopped by Jordan Smith there for UAB. Brings up 3rd down and 7. They are 0 for 3 so far on 3rd down. King trying to change that. Steps up in the pocket. Now scampers away. Gets across the 40 before he is taken down. A missed tackle on the play.
Well, you want to be good on 3rd down. How about a little backyard football? I mean, that's all this is. Doesn't like what he sees downfield. And typically, that's a tackle, at the line of scrimmage. Instead, on a 3rd and 7, that is a huge 3rd down conversion because the quarterback's a tremendous athlete.
Picks up 10. Into the flat, now incomplete to Wiggins. He'll be dragged down. D. Wiggins with the reception. And Miami moving the football. Flag down on the play.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 8, offense, 15-yard penalty. The down counts. It will be 2nd down.
That is on the receiver, Wiggins. And a kick.
Man. It's just unnecessary. You just had a huge 3rd down conversion. You had a positive play on 1st down to stay on schedule, and now you just put your team at a disadvantage. And discipline mistakes like that are something else that I think Manny Diaz has tried to work hard on with his football team.
Miami on top 14-7 with about 6.5 minutes left here in the first half. Brings up 2nd down and 20, and another flag. We have had plenty of those here in this first half.
Offside, unabated, number 22, defense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That goes against Jordan Smith, number 22.
You mentioned the flags. It's somewhat surprising to see UAB with so many of these penalties, considering they've played a game already.
On a run straight ahead, Cheney with the carry. Donald Cheney, freshman from Homestead, Florida, 5'10", about 210 pounds, dragged down by Mole. Miami staying on the ground. King out of the shotgun with Cheney in motion. King with the keep. And another flag has been dropped. That was a 6-yard gain. But another flag down. Seems like virtually on every play.
Holding, number 65, offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
UAB obviously declining that penalty to force 4th down. 4th and 4 from Miami.
In my experience, Dave, a lot of times penalties are because guys are tired. They don't move their feet and they're trying to block, so they grab on, or they don't line up correctly because, just kind of a mental error because they're tired. And I think when you look at the pace of play, warm in Miami, I think some of that could be contributing factors.
Headley, the gigantic punter, at 6'4", launches this one, and a fair catch by UAB. That goes 43 yards. Team COVID-19 protocols, an update here. So daily health screenings and temperature checks, testing 3 times this week, masks on the sidelines, This is brand new. Team box extended from the 25-yard lines to 15-yard lines, and only one captain per team will come out for the coin toss.
Manny Diaz told us that the protocols are not normalizing. The only thing that's normal in this situation is when you're actually playing football. But I think kudos to everyone at UAB, everyone at Miami, and I think around college football that have been doing a very good job of keeping players safe and adjusting to these times.
On a carry, trying that right side, but not much there to bring up second down. Let's go to Katie.
Well, guys, I was told that UAB was tested 24 hours before traveling here to Miami. Of those tests that were drawn, 5 came back, not all positive, but 5 guys were removed from the travel list. Some were positive, some were based on contact tracing, one being a roommate, and so they did not travel. None of those were starters, though, for UAB, but this just goes to show that it's timely in terms of when these guys get tested. They were tested again upon arrival here at Miami, and all of those were negative.
Well, UAB going to their second quarterback. Lucero just getting that one to the end zone, and a great leaping effort there, and going to be a complete pass on the sideline. And a standing grab by Mitchell.
It's a great throw by Tyler Johnson, and it is an outstanding grab, Dave. And he definitely has his right foot down. Quincy Roche is there to deliver the pressure on Tyler Johnson. The way he hung in there, made that throw, was outstanding. Big play for that UAB offense.
And they definitely needed one. Here's the handoff to Spencer Brown. Need something good to happen here at the tail end of this second quarter, trailing by 7.
Yeah, and even at a minimum, flipping the field.
Lucero, the freshman out of Loma, Colorado. He also played a lot in the opener, Tim. He went 7 for 9, 83 yards. He passed for a touchdown, the first one of his career.
I was impressed with him. Showed a lot of poise. Definitely has a live arm.
Lofts this one, and incomplete. Now, Bill Clark says Bryson is a mini Tim Tebow, in my opinion.
It's interesting. They're trying to move him out of the pocket here. I don't know that he really gets out of the pocket, gets rid of that one. Did not see a receiver in the area. It's a smart play to avoid a negative play. At least give yourself a chance on 3rd and 8.
Jermaine Brown in the backfield along with the backup Lucero. 3rd and 8 for UAB. Wants to air it out. Long one, and that one broken up by Miami. Blades breaking it up. It was intended for Watkins.
And Lucero's doing the right thing by trying to give Watkins an opportunity to go play the football. I mean, there's nothing worse than a long foul ball where you don't give your receiver a chance to go touch the football. This one's just too far underthrown. And when you look at Al Blades, does a nice job of getting his head around, trusting his technique, locating the football, nearly able to come up with it.
There's 7 drives and 6 punts for UAB. They started quickly. Greenwell gets it off. Here's Hall running back to the 1-yard line. Now he cuts it back, looking for some room to operate before he's dragged down.
King tonight just been phenomenal, creating some offense, opportunities in the run game as well.
He is back to throw, coming up on 3 minutes to go before halftime, airing it out long but incomplete. And well defended was Harley Jr. He was covered by Turner step for step. Miami's going to go, pushing the tempo.
And that's smart by the official. Harley comes out of the game, so you need to give the defense a chance to substitute, which they did not. That's the right move by the official.
King on 2nd and 10. Stepping up. Nothing there. That pocket collapsed on him, and he goes down. So that'll bring up 3rd down for Miami.
Yeah, UAB does a nice job of keeping him inside the pocket. As you see King want to climb in the pocket. This is a good job of just containing him in there, not letting him get outside the numbers where he ends up being so dangerous.
So 3rd and 15. 2:35 remaining here in Miami. Deep in their own territory, the Canes. King with time to throw. Shows off that arm strength, but it's going to be incomplete. So 4th and 15 coming up. He tried to get it to his tight end Jordan, but incomplete.
Yeah, Derek King does a nice job of just moving in the pocket, not being too eager to take off and run, but this is a tight window that he tries to fit that ball in. Actually, it looks like he's able to sneak it in there. Brevin Jordan, who's an outstanding tight end for the Hurricanes, and had a little area there to get open, and King trying to be aggressive with the football on 3rd and long.
Yeah, Jordan all ACC preseason team. Mitchell back. Headley gets off the punt, a fair catch around the 30-yard line. So the Blazers trying to make something happen here before the first half comes to an end, as they try to improve to 2-0. Miami in their opener, first time these two schools have ever met. UAB looking for their first win in school history against an ACC opponent. 2:15 to go here in the 2nd quarter. So Lucero, the number 2 quarterback, will come out again for this series. And off the play fake. That is going to be tipped and incomplete. So Miami got a hand on it. That was Jalen Phillips. He's 6'5" defensive end to touch it.
And he's been a nice surprise for the Hurricanes. He's the transfer from UCLA, really heralded coming out of high school, and I don't think they were really sure what they were going to get out of him, but they've been really impressed with him. They think that you know, he's got 1st round potential, which is saying quite a bit. I think he had legit pass rush moves and kind of an NFL body. Even drew some comparisons to the Bosa brothers. So they've been really pleased with Jalen Phillips.
A talented defensive end of 6'7". Greg Russo opted out, of course. That was a major blow from Miami.
Timeout, Alabama, Birmingham. That's their 3rd and final timeout.
UAB with their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
30-second timeout.
So 30-second timeout with 2:09 left. Talk about Russo. Here's a look last year at the big defensive end.
You mentioned that he's 6'7". I mean, just so long and rangy, and you know, I think it's one of the things that NFL scouts love. I mean, you can't coach, teach that, or develop that. And there's a ton of athleticism, a ton of length, and I think it was disappointing, obviously, for Miami to have him opt out. At the same time, I think they understood the situation, and we're really fully supportive of him. And I think that's a credit to Manny Diaz, knowing that there are going to be guys that come through this program that have an opportunity to play at the next level, and supporting those guys usually goes a long way, and I think the rest of the program recognizes that.
Well, for more on Russo, let's toss it down to Katie.
I actually caught up with Greg on Monday, and he told me he's currently in Pensacola training every day at Exos, a combine facility, while taking 4 online classes, something Manny Diaz encouraged him to do. Now, Russo did admit he misses being in the locker room with his teammates, but he still talks to the D-line every day. and ultimately Russo still feels like he made the right decision in opting out this season. I asked Mel Kiper Jr., ESPN's NFL college draft expert, his thoughts. He says he loves Russo's versatility and athleticism, but he does wish Russo played this season. He wanted to see Russo work on getting a quicker takeoff while polishing some of his techniques, but Kiper expects him to be a first-round pick in 2021, maybe even a top 10 if he has a good pro day and a good combine.
Probably better to ask Katie who she didn't talk to this week, because I think she talked to everybody about everything, as she often does. 3rd down and 10, no gain on the last carry. And the same will be true here as the Hurricanes stack up on the line. That's -2.
And Miami came after him here, and a little bit surprising to see this. You know, the quarterback change. You know, maybe with a young quarterback, you're not trusting him as much, and so you hand the football off there in that situation. Now you have Miami, you know, stopping the clock now because they're in a situation where they're going to get the football back with an explosive quarterback, explosive offense, and a couple timeouts.
So 1:21 to go before halftime brings up 4th down and 11. And the Hurricanes preparing to get the football back with some time to do something with King at quarterback, who had a spectacular touchdown run and has the Canes in front in his first start, which is going to be highly analyzed here, no question, in South Florida because of all the hype and the ability that comes with it. So Greenwell back to punt. He's been doing that often here in the first half for UAB. Here's Pope. He's going to let that bounce in a short punt. And UAB will cover that. 32 yards on the punt. And the coverage with 1:12 left.
Big opportunity here for this Miami offense when you think about getting the ball to start the second half. This is the New England Patriots double dip scenario where you get a chance to score at the end of the first half and then receive the second half. Plenty of time, as you said, Dave, over a minute. Still a couple timeouts left.
And Derek King carries an FBS record 15-game streak of at least 1 rushing touchdown and 1 passing touchdown in every game. It's off the completion here to Harley. It's just amazing when you think about that. A rushing TD and a passing TD in 15 consecutive games. Back to throw. Dumps it off. Catch hauled in by Harris, and he'll scamper out of bounds with 48 seconds to go.
Yeah, and it's these little plays as a quarterback that I think really have people impressed with Derek King as a quarterback. I mean, that's a Drew Brees type of play. Move a little bit in the pocket, nice touch to your running back so he can go make a play.
Picked up 7 there, and this start is going to be completed to Mark Pope. And right back at it, Miami, wasting no time, getting right up to the line.
Miami's natural pace is built for these 2-minute scenarios.
He's in the shotgun again. Final seconds of the first half. Still keeping his footing. Got the pass away, but incomplete. A lot of pressure that time on King, brought by Noah Wilder, the middle linebacker.
That's another example of a play. You see his strength. You know, probably, you know, a fair amount made of the fact that he's under 6 feet tall, but his strength to be wrapped up in the lower body, but be able to get that ball out, avoid the sack, stop the clock. It's another nice play by the quarterback.
2nd and 10. They list him at 5'11". A Texas native. Became a star at Houston. Now playing his last year of eligibility in Miami. More pressure on him as he fires that one into the bench, incomplete. And knee may have been down too.
To me, it looked like it was live as he's trying to escape.
There's an injured defensive player. The ruling on the field is the quarterback's knee was on the ground prior to releasing the pass. 3rd down.
More pressure by Wilders. Had a nice first half. That play loses 10 with that knee down before he got the pass away. 20 seconds to go. And third down and 19. Wilder really bringing it. The junior at 6 feet 235 pounds and a hard hitter.
You see guys
and
already.
A man down, a player down here for UAB. They're going to reset the game clock to 28. And Turner, the injured player, the cornerback. 5'11" senior out of Florence, Alabama. Again, 3rd and 19. And Miami looking for a little bit of magic here, trying to get into the end zone again before halftime. UAB on the road again to South Alabama next week. But when they come home, they just don't lose. They are literally unbeatable at Legion Field. They've won a Conference USA record 19 consecutive games.
Manny Diaz talked about winning being contagious, and it clearly has been, especially at home for that UAB program.
So they reset it to 28 seconds. 3rd and 19. The call here for King. From the shotgun, throwing short. Complete to Harris. And Harris taken down. And stopped by Chris Maul, who's piling up the tackles. 10 seconds left, and now running the clock.
Timeout, Miami.
And Miami will take a timeout.
And I think
they stop the clock with 2 seconds to go.
There's a bit of no man's land here, Dave. I mean, it seems too far for a field goal try, I would think. And, you know, and so at that point with 4th down, maybe you're just hoping for one last play before the half without having to turn the football over on downs if you don't get it. But it seemed like this area of the field, kind of a decision there to let it run down, figure out what you're going to do to end the half.
They're talking about kicking. You know, Miami missed a bunch of field goals last year, but they brought in Jose Borregales, the senior. He has the job now, and Manny Diaz says that this guy has changed their football team because they have such confidence, not doing it here, but in situations where they are kicking field goals, that he is going to make them from 50 yards on in and even beyond 50 yards. On the snap is King, stepping up again. He's still loose across the 30 to the 20, and finally out of bounds as the first half will come to an end. Forced out by Will Bowler. Got interesting there for the first 10 yards or so.
Listen, I think Bill Clark was holding his breath for sure.
Yes, that went for 31 yards. And that is how the first half comes to an end. Miami to receive the second half kickoff. They are on top at halftime over UAB, 14-7. Derek King really catching fire there, certainly with the running game. And with that great tempo that Miami is playing with, at times that really seemed to wear down the Blazers. They had to take a timeout or two to catch their breath. That may be commonplace for opponents of the Miami Hurricanes this season. Manny Diaz with Katie George.
Manny, your offense is running the ball really well, but how can you improve in the passing game in the next half?
Just be more consistent. You can see some first game rustiness, maybe some first game jitters. I think we settled down better in the second quarter. We possessed the ball. Defense doing a great job getting the ball back to the offense.
What do you need to see from them and continue in the next half? They've punted the ball 7 times in the first half.
Yeah, stay relentless. Both sides of the ball, stay relentless. We know this is a 4-quarter game. We knew that going in. Our tempo, all those snaps are adding up.
Thanks for the time.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, halftime here in Miami. Manny Diaz in the grad transfer from Houston. Immensely talented. He's infused a lot of hope that the Canes can return to the upper echelon of college football. He threw 50 touchdown passes at Houston. He says it is an honor to put on this uniform and wearing it for the first time tonight. And Miami will have the football at the 25. Let's go to Katie.
Well, guys, Bill Clark said it's simple. UAB's identity is running the football, and they're not doing that at all. He said that Miami did do a nice job of hitting them with a couple of run stunts on first downs early on. They need to be better prepared for that in this next half. He's not happy about the penalties and the mental errors, specifically the big run from Cameron Harris that led to the touchdown. Other than that, he said, we're hanging in there. We just want to keep it close going in the fourth, and we have a chance.
Well, they certainly are there. Only 7 down. King trying to get a little bit of distance. And they're going to have a breakaway run right away by Harris. Harris trying to get ahead to the 45-yard line.
It's another zone read. They've run this a few times. King does the right thing of giving the ball to Harris as Maul comes up the field, and then Harris does a nice job of just finishing the run.
He picked up 19, and again putting the pedal to the metal, taking no time to get off another run by Harris. That's for 1 yard. So just getting started here in the second half here in Miami Gardens. Capacity of 65,000, but there are 13,000 or so in the ballpark in this stadium here tonight. And none of them are students. Students not allowed in yet for the first 2 games. And another handoff. Harris once again but taken down. So nothing doing on that play. No gain. Stopped by Tony Fair.
This UAB defense has done an excellent job just hanging in there. I mean, it just, you know, the offense has struggled. They've been out on the field quite a bit, defended a bunch of plays, and, you know, to hold this Miami offense to just 14 points in the first half, been pretty impressive effort.
3rd and 9. That pocket collapses. He spins out of it, still on his feet. There goes King. Ahead to the 30 before he is tripped up. And man, did he make something, and I mean 25 yards out of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, this is Houdini. I mean, this is an absolute jailbreak in the pocket, and I mean, I'm not sure it's down. I said it earlier, I'm not sure it's down in 2-hand touch. It's amazing his elusiveness in the pocket with a free runner coming right at him.
25-yard pickup on that romp by De'Ara King. This carry goes for 2. Miami trying to add on to a 14-7 lead early in the second half.
That is so frustrating as a defensive coordinator to have the right play call on, going to get home to the quarterback, and then it turns into a big play for the offense.
2nd down 8 for Miami. And the grad transfer will hand off again, and a carry by Knighton, the Rooster. It gets him 3 yards and stopped by Moultrie. So a 3rd down coming up here for the Canes. Harris back in at a running back, and he's the tough yardage guy. Then again, so is King. 2 of 8 so far tonight on 3rd down conversions. And he busts it free. Harris again, and hurdles over a tackler down to the 10-yard line.
You just see here, it's another one of these reads. Gives the ball to Harris. He just sifts his way through there. Good job of the offensive line, just sticking to their blocks. I think Rhett Lashley, you know, a lot is going to be made of his tempo, but he does an excellent job at the run game.
Overthrown and intended for Peyton in the end zone, but too high.
This is basically a version of today's triple option. You're going to have the zone read. King's going to end up keeping the football. Then when the corner decides to trap him, he's going to throw out to the wide receiver who's wide open. The play design was perfect. King just ends up missing him in the end zone.
They had run 7 consecutive times before that pass. 2nd down 10. He's going to keep it. Trying to pick up a block, but nobody pushing. And down he goes.
And this is just quarterback sweep, basically, almost student body right. And, you know, I would tell you, ooh, Cameron Harris takes the brunt of it as the lead blocker there.
Lost a yard on that play. 3rd down and 11. 10th play of this drive for the Hurricanes, opening up the second half. UAB already with a victory. They knocked off Central Arkansas 45-35 in their opener. 3rd and 11 with Harley in motion. Going to throw short. It's Harris again, getting inside the 10-yard line. And not much of a gain here for the Canes. Stopped by Tyree Turner. That picks up 4 yards. And also brings up 4th down. 4th and 8.
Defense, you know, they catch a break when King misses, you know, the wide open receiver in the back of the end zone. But I think you have to give a lot of credit to the way this UAB defense is hanging in there. They are tough, disciplined, done a pretty good job of some of these bend don't break scenarios.
Borgalasas will be for 25 yards, and he is going to drill that. So Miami gets 3 more up there. They lead it 17-7 here in the 3rd quarter.
Right now, they were good at it last year defending the run. They're obviously doing a great job of it tonight. I think it's part of the reason you saw, you know, Manny kind of so positive going in at the half with how his defense is played. You know, in openers, you are worried about how you tackle. They've tackled extremely well, and they've really been relentless defending the run tonight against a very good back and an offensive line that's played a lot of football together and does a good job moving people out of the way. So pretty good start.
So Miami kicking off here with 10:15 to go in the 3rd. This will start at the 25-yard line. And no return. Well, want to be on game day? You can join the crew virtually this year. Rep your team, bring your sign, be loud. Enter for a chance at collegegameday.com. You don't have to tell Miami fans to be loud. They know what's going on. They know the drill, and they know how to dress.
And I think a couple of those masks, you know, are serving a few different purposes there.
Yes. Again, 13,000 fans allowed in to Hard Rock Stadium, but no crowd noise being pumped in because the two schools could not agree on how to do that before the game, so they decided not to do anything. So the Blazers trying to get that offense going again behind Tyler Johnston, the junior out of Spanish Fort, Alabama, had a very good opener. 2 touchdown passes in the victory over Central Arkansas. 2nd down and 6. UAB taking on the 5-time national champs here tonight. Looking to beat an ACC opponent for the first time in school history. Brown able to dart outside. Jermaine Brown forced out by Amari Carter. That'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
3rd and 2, usually a down and distance where you think he'll run past because it's so manageable. But with the way Miami's defended the run tonight, would not be surprised to see UAB throw the ball here.
Might not be a bad idea to get it in the air here for Johnston out of the shotgun. He will throw. Throwing short. The pass completed to Mitchell, but whistles on the play. And a flag down. Another one. Been a lot of those tonight.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, number 10, offense lining up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And Tim, the vast majority of the calls have gone against the UAB Blazers.
Yeah, and so many of them, you know, ones that you wouldn't think that you would get from a team that's already played a game. I mean, we've had a couple of guys not lined up on the line of scrimmage. Right there have a neutral zone infraction. A guy on offense, that rarely happens. You know, the illegal procedure type stuff will drive a coach crazy, which it clearly seems like it is to Bill Clark right now.
Right now, I think the officials are driving him crazy on a couple of these calls. 3rd down and 7. Stanley in the backfield. Johnston to throw. Pressure on him, but he did get it away and complete to Mitchell. Mitchell cutting back inside, still up. And a big play. 33 yards.
You mentioned it being a big play. Watch Tyler Johnston, what he does here. He ends up getting a blitz right up the middle. He decides he's just going to drift, give a little bit of ground, and that allows him to find Mitchell as he gets, into the second level there. UAB fortunate that as that ball came out that it ends up getting kicked out of bounds.
So it'll be spotted at the point it went out, and it's 1st down and 10. Johnston with the handoff. Spencer Brown trying the right side. Brown, the #1 running back, top back in UAB history. He has had a great career. Brings up 2nd down and a timeout. A man down here for Miami.
Media timeout.
So a timeout.
Yeah.
Stadium where it is 17-7 Miami. And a 2nd down and 7 for UAB. Tyler Johnston trying to lead them back into the end zone. A handoff for Brown. Has some room to operate. He's free on the sideline, keeping his footing before he finally goes out shy of the goal line, but he broke off a beauty.
This is really well blocked. This is what I mean about getting back to the run. See the movement up front. Look at that hole off to the right tackle there. And then Spencer Brown does just a good job of just using his speed to get through the hole there. But good movement up front. Good explosiveness through the hole.
35 yards for that gain by Spencer Brown.
Which, as we were just talking about, is clearly more yards on that run than they had in the entire first half.
So he had stepped out after getting across the 20-yard line. Play action. Johnston rolling. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Johnston with the incomplete pass. So it has been tough sledding for him at times tonight. The junior out of Spanish Fort, Alabama.
And I know there's a plan to play both guys, but his comfort level, I think I would probably try to go the rest of the way with him at this point, now that you've gotten Lucero some of the snaps that you want to get him in each game.
It's been their game plan in the first couple of games. No more flags here. Stop the play. 7:16 to go in the 3rd.
Prior to the snap, legal snap, number 55, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And another flag against UAB. And there's 9 of them. So a whole bunch of them here tonight. 9 Blazer penalties.
And it's just hard, Dave, when you get off schedule, you find yourself now in 2nd and 15. It just puts you in a tough spot, and so many of their 3rd downs have ended up, being 3rd and long. A lot of it is these penalties in early downs.
With the tight end in motion, Johnson spins around. He throws it up for grabs, and it's tipped incomplete. Dangerous pass.
That was dangerous every way you look at it. I mean, basically, they're trying to roll Johnston out to his left, and I think they have a design throwback here. As they are rolling out to the left, they do, almost like a throwback to the tight end. But as Johnson turns around, he sees Quincy Roche in his face, and he gets rid of it like it's a hot potato. And at that point, he's fortunate that that ball wasn't picked off.
12 out of 17, but only 118 yards. 1 touchdown for Johnston tonight. So big call in the game right now for them at 3rd down and 15. He's going to hand off. It's Brown again. Brown weaving ahead around the 10-yard line. That's an 11-yard pickup.
And it's a smart play call there. Basically, drop 8 situation in 3rd and long down in that tight. That's why you're able to rip off an 11-yard gain.
4th and 4. And movement there on that line. And a flag down. And Miami arguing this should go against UAB again.
Dave, I think it was a shift that confused the defense.
Offside, defense. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So big flag here.
You see what's happening. Pittman, the tight end, does not have his hand on the ground. He's going to back up like he's shifting or like he's getting off the ball. But there's like a little bit of suddenness to it, a bit of deception. And Quincy Roche basically reads that almost like a pass set, and he comes off the ball. And that's why you hear the 13,000 people in the stands upset with the call.
It brings up 1st and goal for UAB from the 6-yard line. Brown cutting through, in for 6, touchdown UAB. Boy, that drive belonged to Spencer Brown. 6 yards to finish it off. But he was the man for the Blazers on that drive.
He was, and we need to give some credit to Sidney Wells and Matt Traherne as well, because they are doing an excellent job on that right side. I mean, that's untouched. A walk-in, stand-up walk-in touchdown for Spencer Brown. He's hitting the hole hard, but an excellent job of the guys up front.
You've mentioned it a couple of times tonight. The toughness of this UAB team, their ability to hang around. This is exactly what the head coach Bill Clark was talking about with Katie, just to stay close late in the game. Spencer Brown a moment ago with a touchdown run, and he rushed for 47 yards on that drive and got into the end zone to make it 17-14 Miami. And this one will roll, scooped up by Miami and Mark Pope. Pope breaks free of a couple of tacklers. He gets out near the 30-yard line on a decent return. 21 yards. So 6:10 to go here in the 3rd. It's felt like several times tonight, Tim, like Miami should be up by a couple of touchdowns. They haven't been able to really break away, and they're giving the Blazers an opportunity here.
Yeah, this is basically their worst nightmare, to let this team hang around. A team that has a game under their belt, no home field crowd noise, you know, letting a tough team hang in this thing.
Here's King to roll and fire and complete in the flat, and the receiver breaking away, and a good job to get free. And as Mike Harley able to pick up some extra yards, let's go down to Katie George.
Yeah, Dave, in that break, Rob Likens, Miami's wide receiver coach, was laying into his group on the sidelines. He told them, when you're getting up off the ground, immediately find the signaler, get the ball to the official, and line up as fast as you can, Dave.
Cheney loose on the sideline, and eventually he is going to be rolled out of bounds, but not until he gets 33 yards. Will Bowler making the tackle, finally bringing him down.
Yeah, and Cheney does a nice job of reading that. He bounced that on his own. Just good instincts out of the freshman running back.
King handing off again, center of the line, no gain this time. And the tackle made by Tony Fair. So 17-14. Miami with the slender lead. The crowd that is here, about 13,000, getting a little antsy. Under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. Pope in motion. Rolling again and firing and complete. Catch made by Brevin Jordan, the tight end.
This is an awesome throw by Derek King. He's got Jordan running to the corner, but he basically stops him with a back shoulder throw because of where the coverage is. See that on his right shoulder to protect him from the defender. It's really well done.
Jordan named to the All-ACC preseason team He and Will Mallory pretty deadly as a pair of tight ends. So 2nd down and goal coming up here for Miami. Harley in motion. Short pass but incomplete, underthrown by King. So 3rd and goal coming up for the Canes.
This is a critical down here for UAB when you really think about what they've done. I mean, they have been bend don't break, done a pretty good job in the red zone. Huge opportunity here.
King has Cameron Harris with him in the backfield. 6 plays, 67 yards on the drive so far. It's Harris. Harris busting into the end zone for a touchdown. Boy, he is so tough to bring down on that first tackle. That was a 4-yard touchdown rush, but another bruising run by Harris and a touchdown Miami.
It's a great way to describe it. Bruising run. Look at Harris. He does a lot of this on his own. Good movement there by John Campbell, but after that, it's just the finish of Cameron Harris. You know, Rhett Lashley talked about his offensive line, wanting them to play better, wanting them to be nasty and mean, and you're seeing some of that. You're seeing some of that personality in their running backs.
Borregales nailing the extra points. Harris 15 carries, 132 yards and 2 probably will be a sizable fee involved. But how often are you going to make an appearance? And Katie, I know Katie was a regular last year. She was very popular with the guys.
I'm a weekly appearance guy there.
Weekly.
Weekly
there, and Scott Van Pelt as well.
Yes, of course.
On a regular basis. You are Mr. Appearance. America's sweetheart, Tim Hasselbeck.
I don't know how this turned on me. This was about you going on Packer and Durham.
They are really, really good, those guys, and how they cover this conference. Nobody better. Now Miami on top 24-14, just over 4 minutes to go, and they're looking to try and break away here. Miami to open the second half, a field goal and now a touchdown by Cameron Harris. So the Canes kicking off. Blazers with pressure on them to get back into the end zone.
Take a look at this last drive by Miami. It's really impressive response by them. You know, good cut up front. As you see Chaney get outside, bounces in on his own. Then it's Derek King. Does an excellent job on his move the pocket play. Back shoulder to Brevin Jordan. Protects the tight end. And then Cameron Harris. Just so much power heading into the end zone. Impressive response by that Hurricane offense.
Harris 5'10", about 210, but the junior from Opelika, Florida, is a bruiser. And that drive 7 plays, 71 yards. He hits you, you know it. So now Johnston running the offense. He's going to throw right over the middle, and the pass is complete and caught by Mitchell. Made a nice catch, 14 yards for the gain.
I've been impressed with UAB's wide receivers. I think trying to create some more opportunities for these guys in space, especially when Miami decides to heat them up.
They put Pittman, the tight end, in motion. And a handoff again to Brown, who's had a really nice night, but they corral him for a loss of 2, and the tackle made by Jade Silvera. Miami 6-7 last year, trying to bounce back from that. They hired a new offensive coordinator in Rhett Lashley from SMU, as well as Rob Likens and Garen Justice. They named the Hall of Famer Ed Reed as chief of staff. A lot of changes made by the Canes. Looking for those to pay off immediately. They lead at 24-14 in their opener.
Timeout, Alabama, Birmingham. That's their first timeout
will take
of the second half.
A timeout.
30-second timeout.
On 2nd and 12 with 2:56 to go in the third. So a couple of times tonight.
Not happy about it.
Yeah.
I was just going to jump in. Another one of those scenarios, Dave, where, you know, confusion pre-snap. And I think, you know, just one of those things against a team like Miami, when you're on the road, you know, obviously got to have a game under your belt. I think it have to be surprising for Bill Clark.
Yeah, they're certainly leading the penalty parade big time over the Canes. Had a lot of those in the first half. Look at the rushing yards, where the U has really excelled tonight. 285 to 58. The passing game, well, the Blazers are out in front, 161 to 99. But look at the total yards. 384 to 219. And Miami with 17 first downs. They've only been penalized a couple of times. 2nd down 12 for Johnston. Looking to throw. And incomplete.
It's been tough sledding on some of these 3rd and longs for this UAB offense, and I think these are the scenarios that, you know, Blake Baker, the defensive coordinator from Miami, he wants to see Jalen Phillips, you know, use some of those natural pass rush moves that he has, or Quincy Roche, the transfer from Temple, who they feel like can really be an impact guy, you know, as a pass rusher. These known passing situations to let those guys loose.
Well, another key call here on 3rd down, 3rd and 12 for UAB. Pressure on Johnson, another incompletion. Got the pass off. He also took a bit of a knock there. That was Phillips getting to him with good quarterback pressure. That's going to be said a lot this year out of Jalen Phillips, the big defensive end, 6'5", 265.
Basically a race to the quarterback, you know, with Phillips as he's getting up the field there, and it's Gilbert Frierson coming off the other end there. And I think that's what Miami feels like they can do.
They will punt again. Hope back there with the fair catch at the 25-yard line. That's where the drive will get underway. Now we have a full slate of college double duty this week.
I mean, can't get enough college football once it starts, especially in the ACC. I'm excited to see Louisville.
Chance for a big gainer here, still on his feet and finally shoved out of bounds on a big gain here by Brevin Jordan.
Yeah, and it's really just an easy design touch for him. Just sliding him across the formation, throw him a flat while he's on the move, and then let the big tight end run after the catch. You know, so many good tight ends have come through this program. Brevin Jordan just the next one.
That went for 22 yards. 1st and 10. And another good toss here by King. Complete to Payton. 13 yards and another 1st down.
I just feel like Miami's pace really just helps slow down the pass rush. You get a big play to Jordan, and now all of a sudden the pass rush is just too tired because you snap the football so quickly. Very low pressure on Derek King.
And really moving the sticks here. Looking to stay up on his feet. Wilder with the stop on Knighton. Freshman's had a couple of good moments here in his Miami debut. Hurricanes on top 24-14. Last moments of the 3rd quarter. And off again. It's Knighton, breaks free across the 20-yard line, heading for the sideline. It gets down to the 5.
You know, so many good decisions by the quarterback are always talked about in passing plays. But how in the run plays? Zone read again. Defender comes up the field. It's Jordan Smith coming up the field. Hand the ball to Knighton. Leads to a big gain. That's a decision by the quarterback that helps that play be productive.
1st and goal and a short run. And stopped by the Blazers, brings up the 2nd and goal here for Miami. With just about a minute to go in the 3rd. And the Canes can put a serious hurt on the Blazers. Miami over 300 yards rushing in this game so far. They have been tearing up the ground here at Hard Rock Stadium. King trying to keep it and attempted to slice inside, but he's tripped up. Stopped by Jordan Smith. Gain of 1. So 3rd and goal.
You know, a guy like Derek King, you have so many options because of his mobility, because you can use him as a design runner, because you can call a pass play and he may end up just taking off. Just gives you so many different options down in the red zone.
Derek King, in their last scrimmage, he passed for 330 yards, 6 touchdowns, and he ran for 94 yards. From the shotgun, heading for the end zone, he fires it in there for a touchdown. He got the tight end Jordan again, and he hauls it in for 6. A short one from 4 yards out, but another touchdown for the Canes.
Yeah, basically just a little outbreaking route here by Jordan as they run underneath. And you see the timing. I mean, that ball is out and on its way to Jordan well before he gets his head around. Nice timing and accuracy by Derek King.
So Borregales on for the extra point. So 16 straight games with a rush and a passing touchdown for Derek King. That's just incredible. That is a record. An FBS record for the quarterback, finishing up his career in Miami after a great career at Houston.
You think when Manny Diaz said he needed to be more dynamic on offense, do you think he found his guy?
I think he did. And right through the uprights to make it 31-14.
Well, he wanted a dynamic offense. He's got an electric quarterback. He can run it. He can throw it. Derek King, outstanding to Brevin Jordan in the back of the end zone. 3rd down, and to be able to run the football, and it has been night and day tonight versus what we saw a year ago. I think a lot of it does have to do with scheme.
Borregales launching that kick. Looked like he was a little shaken up when someone got pushed into him on that extra point a moment ago, but he appears to be all right. Well, it all happens with the huddle tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern time following our game. So stay tuned. Coach Mark Richt and E.J. Manuel, Eric McLean, and your host Jordan Cornette coming your way. As soon as we are finished up here at Miami Gardens in Hard Rock Stadium, where the Canes lead it 31-14. UAB and Johnston back on the attack. He's going to throw short into the flat and complete to Rudolph as he is nudged out of bounds. So a 5-yard pickup, so 2nd and 5 coming your way.
And I think a little tempo would be good here for UAB. Obviously, with the score situation the way that it is, a little more tempo than they've been operating earlier in this game.
Now Spencer Brown, who's had another good night running the football for UAB. He's back in. 2nd and 5. Fumbled it. Going to be tossed here on a broken play. And that one really came apart, eventually winding up in the hands of the wide receiver Myron Mitchell.
Yeah, the coaching point is usually don't make a bad play worse, and Tyler Johnson's lucky he didn't do that here. Bad snap, just eat it. Instead, you know, flipping the ball backwards to a player that you're not sure is expecting the football, that could have been disastrous. Fortunately, Myron Mitchell was aware of what was going on. UAB a little bit fortunate there.
3rd and 8. Look at their third down conversions tonight. 2 out of 11. That's all for the Blazers. And Johnston will look to throw it again right over the middle, but it is incomplete.
I think Johnson's starting to feel the pressure. Starting to feel the pressure a little bit, Dave. You know, just coming after him. They actually had a decent pocket there. Just to stand in there, deliver the throw. It's probably what he's hearing right now on the sideline. But it's because some of the pressure, not necessarily sacks, but the pressure that Miami front has been putting on him.
That's their 9th punt tonight. Their 5th 3 and out. So the drive will begin around the 20-yard line. A 52-yard punt. Miami on top, 31-14.
Here, because of the 3 and outs we're seeing with the offense, players are starting to exchange words with one another. I actually saw a couple of fights break out, so they need to get their heads level here and try to stop this Miami offense.
King rolling right, but that'll be incomplete. Well, you know, you do see that, a flag down here. You do see that when frustration mounts on occasion, not all the time, but you know, a little bickering.
Defense, number 50, spotted the foul, automatic first down.
Automatic first down coming up here.
Well, and you know, the UAB defense has defended about 25 plays in the second half already after what was already a pretty long first half. They've got to be gassed, and you know, the offense not being able to stay on the field can certainly cause some frustration.
Harris dragged down, nothing there. And Miami has scored on all 3 drives in the second half, Tim. So they are punching it home, and it built a 31-14 lead. That play went for -2.
And they were an 11-play drive, a 7-play drive, followed up by another 7-play drive. And and that's just in the second half. And so, yeah, that's the other thing, just out there playing against that fast tempo.
Got rid of it, and a complete pass to Pope on the side as he steps out. But there have been a couple of plays where you thought for sure King was going to go down. 64 plays tonight.
With a lot of football left.
Yes.
You know,
number 9, 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
And when we asked Rhett Lashley about, you know, hey, how many plays do you want to run? And, you know, I think he clearly wants to go fast. He doesn't have a set number, but I think it's pretty clear. You get above 70 plays, he's pretty comfortable with his offenses going that quickly.
And Miami has run 17 more plays than UAB. So taking that philosophy from SMU, stepping up now, King trying to get the edge outside as he dives ahead.
You mentioned that philosophy from SMU. Had a game last year where he had called 109 plays.
Another flag down here. We've seen plenty of those here tonight.
Holding. Number 51, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Another hold. So they'll repeat the second down with 12.5 to go.
And for the record, this doesn't count as resting your defense, if anyone was wondering.
Right.
Third down.
Well, okay, that does. Bill Clark is like, no. If we can remove it down, we'll do it.
Decline the penalty and move on. The third down coming up. Third and 19 for King and the Canes. He's got Harris with him in the backfield. He's had a really impressive night. And he'll take the football and bounce outside. I'm not sure he's gone down tonight on a first effort by a tackler.
No, but he does look slow to get up right now.
He is. And clutching at the knee, it looks like.
It's 3rd and forever. You're doing the right thing by, handing the football off. Oh, man.
Media timeout.
Yeah, Cameron Harris, he took a shot. He's been delivering.
Their draft highlight tapes, I was prominently featured, which is never a good thing.
31-14. The Canes with 11:50 to go. Headley back to punt. It's 4th and 15. I think it's unmistakable that Australian rules football style, as this one will bounce out. Tell you what, last year they faked a punt, and they will several times during the season. They'll rip off a big trick play, and he took off for a huge gainer, totally shocking the Duke Blue Devils in that game. That punt goes for 51 yards.
I think you referred to him as a gigantic punter earlier in the broadcast, and I would agree with you. That I would not want to see him trucking down the field on a fake punt.
He's a physical specimen out there, which is not often said about a punter. So 1st and 10 for UAB. Johnston with some pressure gets the pass off on the side, and tiptoeing out is Mitchell after the completion. That's a gain of 11.
It's a pretty good job of getting the ball out of his hands on a little flea flicker, because he's got pressure in his face just to spit it out to Mitchell on the perimeter.
Mitchell, the senior from Jasper, Alabama, one of his favorite targets, along with Austin Watkins, but it's been kind of tough to find those guys tonight with the Miami D. On the handoff, a little bit of an opening there, and straight ahead goes Spencer Brown. A gain of 7 for Spencer. They rushed for 127 yards in their season opener. He has 67 so far tonight here in Miami. 2nd down and 3 now for the Blazers. Johnston has taken most of the snaps tonight. Bryson Lucero, the freshman, did get some time. Right side this time, and the stop by the Canes. That'll be made by Phillips. Gain of 6 yards. So 1st down pickup here for the Blazers as they move the chains.
Did you see Lucero in there? Bill Clark made an interesting point about playing 2 quarterbacks. He'd done it in the past. But he actually referenced the COVID situation of why, he's pretty set on playing more than 1 quarterback, especially when one of them is young, which Lucero is, to get him reps just with the unknown of how this year will play out.
He'll hand off. Nice big opening there on that right side. Jermaine Brown this time with the carry. A flag down, but that went for 16. So the sophomore with a nice gain, but we'll see what happened here with the flag.
Personal foul, targeting, number 5, defense, 15-yard penalty. The previous play is under further review.
That is Amari Carter targeting. And there's a new addendum to the rule this season, but take a look at this.
It was certainly a big collision. I'm getting the sense that Carter is just trying to go low. He's got a quick player on the sideline that he's just trying to get under his, basically below his waist to take his legs out. And then as Brown tries to lower for impact, it's like he almost goes and meets Carter, where Carter wasn't intending him to be.
I think you're right, Tim. I think Carter intended, you looked like he was ducking underneath.
After further review, there is no targeting on the play. 1st down, Alabama Birmingham.
It's a good job by it's a good job by the officials to look at it, because when you saw it in full speed, it looked like 2 guys ramming their heads together, which is obviously something that we need to take out of the game. But But as you watch it in slow-mo and you get the chance to see it, it does seem like Carter is just trying to kind of saw off the legs. And it's kind of a big collision. It was almost unintended.
First down 10. Handoff for Jermaine Brown. He gets stretched out and pushed out. As you know, a disqualified player is one who has committed a targeting foul. It didn't happen here, but that player is declared ineligible for further participation in the game. This year, a disqualified player may now remain in the team area, does not have to leave and go back to the locker room, as has been the case in the past.
And look, I like that adjustment because, you know, kind of sending somebody off into the locker room all by themselves. I think it's good to have a guy, you know, around his teammates. There's obviously a lot of disappointment and probably frustration as well when that happens. And I think it's a good rule adjustment.
Incomplete. Intended for the tight end Prince, but he cannot make the grab. 8:57 remaining here at Miami. And of course, an ejected player has to leave the player area, the enclosure, under the escort of a team personnel member before the next play. But disqualification, that's a different matter. Third down and 16. UAB trying to get back on the board, driving here down close to the 40. And a long throw is going to be incomplete. Blades with the coverage. And Lucero letting it fly, but incomplete.
We've talked, you know, a lot about this Miami defense and how they've played against the run, but I've been impressed with what I've seen from their secondary as we're looking at Al Blades. A lot of guys last year, you know, playing that hadn't played before. It seemed like it was a pretty inexperienced secondary. I think Blake Baker, the defense coordinator, felt like he was playing 4 new guys. And it just seems like there's better competition, healthy competition, and better play so far out of that secondary.
It feels like a whole new attitude, frankly, with Miami as the punt gets away by Greenwell. Ball back there in the fair catch at the 10-yard.
Scrambling, picking up yards. Then the freshman getting involved. Cheney bouncing outside, and then the power of Cameron Harris down in the red zone. The running attack for Miami been working tonight.
And De'Aaron King working overtime as well. 141 passing yards and a touchdown, 83 yards rushing and a touchdown. So 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers in his Miami debut. And more of a managed game tonight. Not necessarily a lot of explosions, but doing what they do well, keeping the ball on the ground successfully.
You know, you mentioned kind of the clean game he's played in terms of turnovers. That's one of the things that impressed me about him watching and preparing for this game, is that he does make explosive plays, but he's not careless with the football. And you know, that's a rare combination to have, you know, at the quarterback position. Somebody that can make explosive plays but not put the ball in harm's way.
Another handoff by King here with 7:33 to go. And brings up 4th down and 3. Tackled by Fish McWilliams. So Donald Cheney, the freshman, will step off. 4th down and 3. And 3 and out. So Miami forced to punt here with about 7 minutes to go in the contest. And it's Headley again to launch it.
Council made up of players, coaches, administrators, professors, and other members outside of athletics. It's led by running backs coach Eric Hickson And a week after its inception, the council presented its first initiative to Diaz, registering the entire football team to vote. The next week, every player was registered at the football facility. Diaz said the players understood then that this isn't just talk. There's going to be changeable action by some of the things that is done in this program.
14-yard reception there by Stropshire, the junior from Zachary, Louisiana. Bring up first down and 10 here for UAB. Well, Miami 6-7 last season. Whole new offense, new coaches, new quarterback, and they believe in new attitude. Tim, how big a year is this, do you think, for Manny Diaz?
I think it's a really important year, especially since he made significant changes. You know, he fires, Dan Enos as his offensive coordinator. He goes out and he hires Rhett Lashley. I think there's an expectation. I mean, we ran the graphic earlier in the game about the roller coaster of last year. Some of the losses a year ago, just unacceptable for the University of Miami and its football program. And so I think that there needs to be a drastic improvement. And I will say, it seems like the confidence of this team, with Derek King and with Rhett Lashley and how this defense has played tonight, I almost feel like I'm starting to see the Miami I remember, out on the field with so much confidence.
Right. And, a little bit of swagger, which is always there with the good Miami teams. Tipped pass there and nearly intercepted as Carter was in on the play. Lucero back in there at quarterback for UAB. So Blazers shuffling between Johnston and Lucero here in the fourth quarter. And now Lucero getting another chance in the pocket. Good time and a good arm. He shows that off. You talked about the patience he has in there and the composure. That's a 12-yard gain.
Yeah, he seems like a natural passer to me. I know that Bill Clark gave him a Tim Tebow comparison, but when I see him in the pocket, he looks like a guy that's a comfortable passer, even with people around his feet.
Get Austin Watkins down, the wide receiver. And the senior on his back.
And Watson just running the in cut and pretty routine tackle. It's hard to tell, see how he came down. And the other guy I was impressed with, Dave, is Austin Watkins. 6'3". I mean, kind of has this mentality of he's aggressive to catch the football, and then once the ball is in his hands, he's violent as a runner. I think he's a pretty good player, and certainly done a good job for this UAB program.
Yeah, top 10 in school history in receiving yards. He had 1,000 yards receiving as a junior. He's a senior now, a little shaken up here. So he comes out with 5:40 to go here in the contest. First down and 10. But a long way to go here. Sarah will dump that off, and that's going to be incomplete. So second down coming up for the freshman.
Dave, you were talking about Manny Diaz, how important this year is, and the swagger of these Miami teams. Don't you just get the feeling that Derek King's arrival kind of changed everything for so many of these kind of Hurricane players and even some of the members of the coaching staff?
I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, to get a player that talented and that accomplished, out of the portal, coming to Miami, and what he said was, look, it's an honor for me to come to a school like this and to be part of a program with this history and this tradition. I get an opportunity to put on this uniform, and he used that word. He said, I'm honored to do it. I think, that shows the attitude that he brings, the class that he brings, and it uplifts the whole program, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's the sense that I got. And Rhett Lashley was quick to point out, as they had just a handful of spring practices, and during those spring practices, he didn't walk in saying, hey, I'm Derek King, like this is my job. He said he basically just put his head down and worked. And that example of being humble, coming in and working, I think, caught everyone's attention, as well as when he would take off and run, that people thought, oh, okay, maybe this is the worst kept secret around Miami, Hurricane football program, is that this is the guy that's the answer at the quarterback position.
Well, a huge pickup for the program, trying to get back to that elite status that Miami enjoyed for so long, and 5 national championships along the way. Greenwell back to get the punt away for UAB. And a fair catch around the 6-yard line by Hall. A closer look at what he's done tonight.
Yeah, and we've been raving about him, Dave, because of stuff like this. Free runner in the pocket, and he's just able to be a magician and get out of trouble. And then just the ability to create on plays that were designed pass plays, to take off and run, the decisiveness. And then as a passer, he's been absolutely outstanding. And, I think it's fair to say that there's probably some ACC defensive coordinators that are having some Lamar Jackson flashbacks, seeing what Derek King is doing.
And some high anxiety. Miami offensively 468 yards and counting tonight. And so King taking a breather. Perry is the new quarterback. Kosi Perry, the junior from Ocala, Florida. So he'll get in and take some snaps, as King certainly did his job tonight. 2nd down and 9 in the opener for Miami, trying to go to 1-0. Red Lashley, the new guy. His SMU team averaged 41 points a game last season. His first year in Miami as the new offensive coordinator. Now, when you size up just how effective the up tempo was tonight, and that pedal to the metal style, obviously they're up 31-14 and a timeout here, but what grade do you give it? It's the first performance of the year.
Yeah, considering that Rhett Lashley said that there will be growing pains because of the abbreviated training camp or in the abbreviated spring, that it wouldn't be clicking on all cylinders. There's going to be some coaching that needed to be done, some repetition that needed to be done by various positions. But I think having a quarterback that's familiar with an up-tempo system, I think really helped tonight, Dave. I was impressed with the pace that they were operating at and the way that everyone seemed to be okay with it. I know Katie had the report on the sideline about the receivers coach getting on the receivers about, looking over to the sideline. But, typically the offensive line, those guys need to be told to move. But they were up ready to go, and I was impressed. I was really, really impressed for first time out.
Yeah, it seemed to run pretty darn smooth for most of the night, with King at the controls, and Miami really surging in the second half. They scored in the first 3 drives of the second half to pile up a 31-14 lead over UAB. And a handoff here to Robert Burns, getting a couple of carries pretty late in the contest. And a flag down. A 2-yard pickup on the play, but a flag.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 23, defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down. That is number 23's first unsportsmanlike of the game.
3:33 to go here at Hard Rock Stadium. One of the things we mentioned tonight was at the very beginning of tonight's game, you could hear genuine crowd noise, and it's still so unusual when watching a sporting event these days. I mean, actual fans in the stands. There are 13,000 people allowed into Hard Rock Stadium, but there's none of the fake noise, as that one is broken up. And a pass intended for Redding, but incomplete. And the two schools, the representatives from the two schools got together before kickoff and talked about, did they want the sound to be piped in of cheering fans to add on top of the 13,000, and they could not agree on a particular level how they wanted to do it, so they just went with the 13,000 who are in attendance and socially distanced tonight.
Yeah, and I will say,
into the flat.
A lot of people ask about what would it be like to play in a stadium with no fans, and oftentimes, you know, your energy is generated by your players and your sideline and their passion to play. But there's no doubt you feed off of the building, and you know, seeing this right now, having played in my fair share of fourth quarter preseason games, like it's a bit of a flashback of that, which is not a whole lot of energy, and it has to be completely generated by the guys on the field.
Yeah, that can't be easy. That cannot be easy.
It's kind of an eerie feeling.
On 3rd and 2, and Burns getting a lot of work here, and he's going to pick up the first down on a 3-yard gain. So 1st and 10 as we are moving toward the 2-minute mark here in Miami.
And Dave, you mentioned pace and how, you know, effective and helpful it is. Look, I think it's a prime example. A lot of those starters on that offensive line are still out there. You want to be able to seal a game. You know, Rhett Lashley will say you throw to score, but you run to win. Well, ending the game with the ball in your hands is one of the ways you win, and it's wearing people down and being able to run it late.
Into the pile, Burns again. So 2nd down coming up. That'll gain 3. Save as many as a dozen lives 19 years ago. Be sure to tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern on ACC Network. Miami 489 yards of offense tonight, 340 rushing. Now Perry to keep that, trying to dart outside as he steps out of bounds. So under a minute to go. And the Hurricanes about to move to 1-0 and drop UAB to 1-1. Manny Diaz in his 2nd year with a brand new quarterback, and that has worked out very, very well in the season opener. They will travel to Louisville for the next game, and they will get Clemson. They go to Clemson on the 10th of October. 3rd down and 2, and a swing pass complete. Got that out to Marshall Few for the gain. He picks up 5 yards. Now Miami last year dropping their first couple of games out of the break when they started the season, and that's not going to happen this year. Getting off in style with a 31-14 lead in the final seconds of this game.
And I think that will go a long way too in terms of the confidence of this football team and what you're building on, especially around a quarterback that seems to energize your offense.
Nowhere to hide for Perry as he's tied up on what will be the final play of this game. So Manny Diaz in Miami to celebrate a victory tonight in their home stadium, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. The final score 31-14, knocking off UAB, and a fine way to begin the season for the Canes with a star at quarterback and De'Ara King as he leads the Canes to the victory. And man, did they do it on the ground.